Welcome to the Hope for the Journey podcast, a weekday wellness tips program presented by Dr. Denise Marie, Third Order Carmelite. Dr. Denise is a professionally qualified clinical psychologist, health and wellness professor and coach, counselor, plus medicinal herbs educator. Each Hope for the Journey podcast features a well-being key from Dr. Denise, helping you meet your self-care needs for living well. Listener discretion is advised because this and other Hope for the Journey episodes may contain discussions surrounding behavioral health problems and other actual potentially triggering topics.
Hello and good day, everyone. Welcome back to Hope for the Journey. I hope things are coming along okay for you today. My name is Dr. Denise, and on today's episode of the podcast, our topic is setting goals together, which is a relational self-care key for living well. It is the case that people who share life together have goals for life improvement that need setting. Whether these goals are individual goals to change life for the better or joint goals to change life for the better. Yet I do have a question for you. Do you find yourself not achieving important goals with someone you share your life with? If so, do you have a sense of what is standing in the way of your meeting each of these life goals together? Would it be any of the following reasons? For example, would you say, zooming in on a top goal you have, that the goal is not put together well enough, actually is rather vague? Or you are not exactly clear on why you have the particular goal? Or before starting out, you find you are missing enough preparation for success in reaching the goal? Or would you say you need much stronger self-discipline to achieve the goal? Or you are making perfection at hitting the target stand in the way of simply doing a good job to get there? Or do you care too much about what other people are thinking about your having this goal? Or do you have one or more doubts about whether you can actually make the goal? Or are there other things blocking you on the path toward meeting the goal together? Now, why don't we identify some substantial areas of life where people usually have individual or joint goals that need setting, so that different goals you might have are sorted into categories? Friendship goals, educational goals, occupational goals, financial goals, diet goals, exercise goals, meal planning goals, special event goals. Does a top goal that you want to reach with someone you share your life with fall under any of these types? One or more of them, maybe. Because of challenges there may be in setting both individual and joint goals together, have you found yourself wondering why you're even bothering to try to achieve these goals. You might be at a point where you're saying to yourself, what is the point of setting goals together, when that can be a rather difficult thing to do? Well, actually, I do think it's good to keep at the forefront of your mind what the good reasons are for working together to hit your desired targets. First, you are more likely to set aside distractions this way. Setting goals together would be the first step in making the goals visible and tangible. You are more likely to hold distance from any other people who may be discouraging you in the pursuit of your goals. Goal setting together does lead to a more purposeful approach in which you map out your very path. It helps increase your motivation to keep things going forward, with progress happening. Goal setting with someone you're close to can open you up to think creatively, outside the box, and explore new ways to approach a matter. And setting goals together might actually improve on time management of the project. So now that we've made a case for moving ahead on setting goals together, how best to get it going? To get the intentions you both have together to be more defined? Well, to start, I think it is important to pursue real clarity about what the intention is, meaning exactly what is it that you wish to happen. Also, it is ideal to set goals which you have passion for, objectives that you would really like to achieve. And why not set goals that build upon your various strengths and talents and gifts? I also am a big believer in precisely writing down the goals that you have. Did you know that research by a professor named Gail Matthews at Dominican University of California showed that writing down your goals actually increases your chance of goal attainment by 47%. It is also a wise thing to make sure that the number of goals you have is reasonable. Best not to have so many goals at once. Also, it would be good to identify if you need to develop any extra know-how or extra skills to reach each goal, as well as to identify any special resources or support you would need from others to achieve each goal. All right, then. So now what about taking action to implement the goals you've set together? To turn your goals into realities? What behavior is central in reaching your goals? Well, based on your intentions, make sure to spend quality time together creating a fine quality plan to reach these goals, a practical plan. And why not ask God for guidance about the best steps to reaching the goals? And what about breaking down the larger steps you need to take into smaller steps to achieve the goals? This is really worth the time it takes. And how about making it a point to place deadlines for completion of each step on a calendar visible to you both so that you have timelines for finishing what you've started. And it does help to pray for persistence in meeting your goals. Overall, it is possible to live with those closest to you in a more intentional fashion, finishing every project you start together, all in service of strengthening your relational well-being, resulting in a more thriving life for you in general. Next, moving ahead on today's subject matter, I wish to point out two people for whom setting goals with others has been significant and successful. First, I mention Garth Brooks, Oklahoma, USA born country music star. During an interview in April of this year by Epic Work, Epic Life, Garth Brooks said, quote, "I think in between where you are and where you want to be is a sea of reasons why you can't get there. I think passion is the bridge you build. Passion is what's going to see you through. It actually gives a mortal person wings. It's believing that something can happen." End quote. Garth is also quoted as saying, quote, "I trust God a lot that there's some reason why we're together, me and whoever I'm working with." End quote. On a separate note, in Garth's dedication of the album called In Pieces, he wrote, quote, "And above all, to God, music is a tremendous power. Please give us the wisdom and the courage to do all we can in the time we have." End quote. Plus, from the album entitled Fresh Horses, Garth wrote, quote, "And above all, to God, for it is through him that all things are possible." End quote. Garth has not been afraid to admit how he prays for the success of his music projects. He has even said that his favorite book is the Bible. And the other person I wish to bring attention to is film, theater, and television actress Anna Chlumsky. Born in Chicago, Anna is especially known for portraying Amy Bruckheimer on the HBO TV series called Veep, a role she was nominated 6 times for in pursuit of an Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. Anna Chlumsky found her passion for acting at the age of 10 when she auditioned for the movie My Girl. It turns out she won out over 1,000 other girls for the lead role and thereafter was recognized for her fine quality performance. I think 3 of Anna's best quotes about goal setting are these. First, quote, "Don't let fear hold you back from pursuing your dreams. Embrace the unknown and take a leap of faith." Another quote is, "Never let your past define your future. Learn from your mistakes and use them as stepping stones towards success." And the third quote is, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." End quote. So as you can tell, both of these prominent people, Garth Brooks and Anna Chlumsky, understand that setting goals alongside others is a relational practice for better living. For the next segment of our podcast today, I planned to present a piece of music that points to God's interest when people are setting goals together. And I wonder whether inviting God into the step planning process is something you do. So the song I will feature for you is called Write Your Story and is sung by Francesca Battistelli. I will read a number of the topic relevant song lyrics I found online here. They say you're the king of everything. And they say you can give the blind their sight. You can be the hope my soul's been seeking. I'm an empty page. I'm an open book. Write your story. Come on and make your mark, author of my hope. Write your story. Come on and write your story. I don't know what your plan is, but I know it's good, yeah. I want to tell you now that I believe in you. So do what you do. Oh, I want my history to be your legacy. Go ahead and show this world. I want my life to say, I let you write your story. As this song plainly reveals, God's input can be tapped when you are setting goals with another person in your life. Inviting God in not only advances the effectiveness of your quote unquote working together situation, but also helps you feel well while you are moving through the process. At this juncture, I would like to turn our focus to some extra possible care for you and your overall wellness by discussing the following 3 health foods to assist the practice of setting goals together, which is our relational self-care key of the day. But please recall my words about going over these 3 items with your doctor before inserting them into your own healthcare regimen. I feature next this trio of foods as complementary to body and soul functioning. First, I can point out cashew nuts. Cashew nuts are good for your nerves, stress reducing, and energy boosting. Then I can suggest eating blueberries. Blueberries are antioxidant rich, supporting one's overall health and energy levels. Additionally, there are dates, and these can actually offer a natural sugar rush for a quick energy boost, provide a quick pick-me-up, and simply be a nutritional powerhouse for you. Though only please consider my advice to talk such foods over with your doctor to make sure they work with your unique health needs. Otherwise, it is a pleasure for me to underline eating cashew nuts, blueberries, and dates as they are gifts of nature provided to enhance the well-being of both your body and soul. For today, I also plan to share this brief item with you. A post-it note I have written to encourage you to continue in your efforts of setting goals together. So I hope you will take to heart these words from a friend, actually from 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. On our podcast today, the next item I have to share is an app useful in setting goals together. This app is called LeapSum,
and is meant not only for quote-unquote goal management, but also to be an app of other work tools, including for workplace onboarding, engagement surveys, and even team meetings. The app is the product of two co-founders, originally from Germany, Jenny von Podevils and Kajetan von Armensberg. The content description for the app describes it as a, quote, goal tracking tool, end quote. It is also an app used to, quote, track and collaborate on goals at all levels to create alignment, accountability, and transparency, end quote. Further, going beyond this LeapSum app I discovered, you can keep in mind that there are other wellness aids to discover in our Hope for the Journey podcast resource center, located on Instagram at Cause for Hope. And lastly, to complete this evening's discussion points, I wish to underline how pleased I have been to make this podcast for you today on our topic of setting goals together, to emphasize the significance of this relational self-care key for you. And please know that I personally wish you more hope for the journey of greater well-being.
The Hope for the Journey program airs weekday evenings from 7:45 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Instagram and YouTube. Dr. Denise thanks you for listening to her Community Wellness podcast and wishes you to keep in mind that there is cause for hope of more well-being.